Greetings, my name is Mr. Cooper, and I have another presentation. Very short, should be less than 5 minutes or so. I get a little long-winded, so it might be a little more. I call this, What If He Had Won? Right? What if he had won? This man right here. Hi, do you know who I am? Is what he is asking. Do you know who this person is? I have a couple of hints. What you're looking at is a silver dollar, 1795 coin, which suits the Coinage Act of 1792, which had been promulgated by the Congress. I believe it's Section 8, Article 1, something like that, that says that Congress shall coin money and regulate the value thereof. And Congress had did that during the year 1792, which was also the year when the first Bank of the United States had been established. If you look at the upper right corner, you'll see a page of a pamphlet, Anti-Imperialist. This man was an anti-imperialist, and he was also a silverite or a populist. Do you know who he is? The Cowardly Lion is the metaphysical representation of this man who had ran for president. Do you know which president he ran against? Next slide. The Coinage Act of 1873, called the crime of 73, had demonetized silver. As a consequence, not enough money circulated to help laboring Americans, namely farmers, meet their debt obligations. Only the robber barons control all the money, which was gold. In other words, the money supply had contracted. There was less money in circulation for everyone, for all the American citizens to use. Here you see before you is a graphic representation of the tonnage of silver and gold. If you look at the boxes beneath, somewhere in the center, you will see a silver box which represents 1.74 million metric tons of silver, and the gold box, the goldish box, representing 244,000 metric tons of gold. There is less gold in circulation even today, and these numbers supposed to represent something more up to date. There's obviously less gold than there is silver, and the robber barons, such as you see this particular robber baron, J.P. Morgan, he had somewhat monopoly control over gold. I say somewhat because I haven't found any evidence saying that he controlled all the gold. He had got his wealth from England, to my knowledge. The wealthy person was a man by the name of George Peabody. He was a banker there in England, and George Peabody was a friend of J.P. Morgan's father, and left J.P. Morgan's father, I believe his name was Junius, a sizable amount of money, and they had gotten their wealth from a friend. No telling how close. I don't know the greater details, but the money was handed down to them by a friend. And J.P. Morgan had, I'm assuming, had cornered the market of gold and bought up everything, especially railroads and other investments. But as you can see, this graphic representation, you can see that the ratio between gold to silver in this presentation seems to be 1:7. For every ounce of gold, you have 7 ounces of silver. Let's keep it pushing. Now, I'm coming to an end of this presentation. This is a graphic representation of the tonnage of copper, silver, and gold. Notice the great difference. This is supposed to be as accurate as I can get. There are 700 million metric tons of copper as compared to 1.74 million metric tons of silver, as compared to 244,000 metric tons of gold. Notice the difference. Now, if copper was money, will it cause hyperinflation? Of course not. It wouldn't cause, but it may cause a degree of inflation, would it not? But not to the extent that an economy would crash, I believe. I'll let you be the judge on that. Which metal provides a better currency? History should have taught us that we cannot really use gold as a currency because it's not enough to go around. It's not enough to go around. And the Gilded Age was the age where we had learned that lesson. I didn't intend this for this presentation to be this long, but like I warned you earlier, I'm pretty long-winded. This is the last page, and this is an excerpt from The New Freedom, Call for the Emancipation of Generous Energies by Woodrow Wilson. This is page 58. He had said this: suppose you go to Washington and try to get at your government. You will always find that while you are politely listened to, the men really consulted are the men who have the biggest stake. And we're not talking beef here. The biggest stake. The bankers, the big manufacturers, the big masters of commerce, the heads of railroad corporations, and of steamship corporations. Woodrow Wilson had published this in his book. And with this said, I bid you adieu. I bid you adieu.